Excellent. I guess moving on, you're here from different parts of the continent, and I guess we're seeing a lot more of relationship and intention to work together as we're looking at international investing. What has been your experience so far? What are the setbacks you faced, and where do you see where we can improve things to make angels work better across borders?
We started the other end first.
Okay. So one of the things that we're trying to do in the Capital Angel Network is actually start to bridge more relationships, and we're just getting going with this. Because as I said, there's not a lot of angels who are kind of, they're still in their closet. We need to create a little bit more excitement in Ottawa at this point in time. So, you know, to give an example, eSite. I mean, they ended up going to Boston Harbour. They did have some initial investment from angels in the Ottawa community, but they just didn't get that take hold in Ottawa community. Once the Boston Harbors got interested in them, some of the people in the community, Ottawa community, are starting to come back, and we probably will end up doing something where it's Ottawa community. We may even bring in the Golden Triangle Angels in this, and Boston, which would be really, really nice to see this. It is being led by the Boston Harbour, but you know, that's fine. Like, as long as we can start getting some angel investors coming out of the closet in Ottawa and starting investing and being public with this. I'd like to see more of this, because right now I know we have angels in Ottawa who are actually taking their money to Montreal, taking their money to Toronto, and we have companies in Ottawa that don't even bother coming to Ottawa Angels. So I'd like to see them, at least we can open the door to other people. They are very investable companies, they're very exciting companies, and it's nice to see the community grow.
Well,
yes.
You know, from my perspective, it's a natural extension, because the border by itself, when they first started talking to me a year and a half ago about cross-border investing, I was thinking Massachusetts to New Hampshire. And certainly it would be less of a problem for Massachusetts and Quebec than Massachusetts and Silicon Valley, where the cultures are at least as different, you know, in that first case. There are, you know, again, as I said in my intro, there are advantages to being up here in terms of talent and in terms of non-dilutive capital. At the same time, I know in 2 successive monthly meetings of Boston Harbour Angels in 2011, we had 4 Canadian companies come to us. eSite from Ottawa, Emovi from Montreal, and 2 others whose name escapes me. Maybe I was one of the angels that didn't get hurted, one of the cats that didn't get hurted, or it's just a senior moment, whatever. But so it's easy to come down. It's a 5.5, 6 hour drive. It's no big deal, you know. It's actually easier for me than to go to my home in Toronto when you get right down to it, because in general you're going to have to fly there. So I'd like to do more, but I think we have to be aware of standards of due diligence and so on that might, I mean, we had one big miss. It's sort of the 500-pound gorilla that's standing out there, which is the one deal that I think we were active in syndicating in terms of Quantum Dental, I think originally called Canary, and the canary died. It fell apart in the 11th hour and 59th minute. There was a small 7-figure number syndicated, and we found that one of the original friends and family or founders had wanted to take $800,000 off the table out of the investment round, which of course was it hadn't been known before that, at least to us, and we ran away quickly, and the excellent CEO, Lisa Crossley, immediately resigned to maintain her integrity, and a month later, she's back at Boston Harbour Angels, CEO of a new company, presenting another deal in electronic medical records.
In terms of you know, investment, we can call it cross-border investment. In one case, Maple Leaf Angel had invested in a company called Future State, which is a way to organize apps. So that's right in the sweet spot. The actual investment was sent over to Orange, Quebec, And what was interesting is that Ange Quebec invested very close to what Maple Leaf did, and they did it in a month's time. So that's using due diligence from another group and paperwork from another group. It works very, very well. On another case, when it comes to international investments, I had basically founded a company that was sold called Infonet Media, and that's the in-store advertising, coupons in the big box stores and sampling. And the company that bought the company from me asked me to invest in Asia with them, which I did. And so what was interesting is that I invested based on the familiarity of the business. So it's a strategical investment. And the VC group that had invested in us were going to invest as well, but we found a better condition with a local Hong Kong group. And they were also very motivated because they knew the industry, and they had done in our case. So what is interesting now is that we're seeing cross-border and international investments that have gone beyond strategy. Now it's about the deal and how good is it, and can we find a company that can do a return of 10 times. That sort of feeling is coming through.
So this is something that I think both Caroline and Matey referred to, which is this building of relationships between groups and starting to be able to leverage the due diligence they've done or the deal flow generation that they've done. And so that's one of the things we're taking advantage of with our new Israel program. There are a number of investors, certainly in the northeast part of the United States, that are very interested in the concept of investing in Israel, but can't be on the ground to do deal sourcing and to do the original due diligence. And so we've actually created a fund where those angel investors can actually invest as we choose the companies for the accelerator. And then as they come to the US and start building the companies, they can build a relationship, and that's actually a source of potential deals for them to do a real angel round with. And that happens in our regular programs as well. We actually source companies from all over the world and then start connecting to the angel groups in the areas where they're going to end up. So a lot of times, an accelerator program ends up being a good source of deal flow for the angels. So we start building some really strong connections to funnel our companies out of the accelerator program into the angels' hands, and we're doing that internationally.
One of the ways that LaunchPad operates, and many other angel groups do the same thing, as we start to look beyond our borders of 100 miles from home, we start to insist that if we're going to invest in cross-border deals, and we're very open to it at this point, that we want to co-invest. We want to invest with someone on the ground locally who's going to be our partner. And that's pretty important. If you're looking at a venture fund, they don't care. As a matter of fact, they don't want anybody in the deal but themselves. But if you're an angel group, many angel groups are going to say, hey, George, that's great that you're bringing me these Canadian companies, but let's make sure that you've got somebody on the ground who's going to invest right alongside with us, and if there's a problem, they're there to go be part of the solution.
Thank you. Very good comment. I was going to ask you about this, this issue. Now, one